So President Joe Biden is weighing whether or not to issue sweeping pardons to members of his administration, his aides and allies, and some other people because of fears that incoming President Donald Trump could target them. This is a preemptive move, and it would be a very novel and untested use of presidential pardon powers, which are very broad. The difference here is that Biden's team is considering pardoning people who haven't been charged, let alone investigated yet. The pardon would cover a broad range of actions to preemptively stop the Trump administration from investigating people. On the campaign trail, Trump talked a lot about an enemies list that includes Jack Smith, the special prosecutor investigating Trump. It included Liz Cheney, who is a conservative Republican, but who was very critical of Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election and eventually campaigned for Democrat Kamala Harris. There's also Anthony Fauci, the infectious disease specialist who was behind a lot of the COVID mandates. Those are just a few people. There's a broad list. The preemptive pardons are being discussed mostly at the lawyer level now at the White House. Biden has been in brief discussion about it, our sources tell us, but generally speaking, this hasn't risen to the level of very serious discussion. It's just something that's being talked about right now. Biden isn't the first president to consider such pardons. Donald Trump also considered pardoning aides and allies who were involved in his failed bid in 2020 to overturn the results of the presidential election. Trump even considered pardoning himself, but none of that happened. So what Biden would do could really open the door and set a precedent for future leaders to grant immunity to people for acts they may or may not commit in office.